There's no doubt that the San Antonio Spurs are one of the best young teams in the NBA. They have a generational franchise talent in Victor Wanyama and numerous young players to complement him. Combine this with the talent and draft capital they already possess, and it's no question that the Spurs should be one of the best teams in the NBA for the foreseeable future. But focusing on the upcoming 2025-26 NBA season, I believe the Spurs are in the perfect position to shock the NBA and surprise many people with how competitive they can be. This all starts with a 7'4" demon, Victor Wembanyama. His per-game stats this past season were 24.3 points, 11 rebounds, 3.7 assists, 1.1 steals, and 3.8 blocks in only 46 games. Wemby's second season was cut short with a deep vein thrombosis or blood clot in his right shoulder, but he was recently seen training with monks in China and should hopefully return to full health for the next season. If he continues to improve and take the next step in his game, Wemby could end up being in MVP conversations by the end of the season. Dejounte Fox is another big name on this team. He recently signed a 4-year, $229 million contract extension with the Spurs. A lot of people have been skeptical about this deal, and while you can debate if he deserves that much money, you definitely can't question his talent. Fox is a top 10 point guard in the NBA and one of the best downhill slashers in the game. His speed and rim pressure will open things up for the Spurs on the perimeter, and he should form a very good partnership with Wemby, considering they only played 5 games together last season. Stephon Castle is another young star to look out for. He's the reigning Rookie of the Year and could take the next step in his career this season. He's already one of the Spurs' best perimeter defenders and is also very crafty at finishing around the rim. While his shooting was quite bad in his rookie season, he's been working all offseason on his jumper, and if he shoots near league average from 3 this season, he could take a massive stride to becoming a star on this team. The Spurs also had a great draft class, taking Dylan Harper at number 2 overall and landing Carter Bryant with the 14th overall pick. Harper is a great finisher at the rim and has the potential to be one of the best playmakers in the league. He also has great size at 6'6" and a great handle of the ball, and will likely come off the bench and lead the Spurs' second unit once Fox and Castle take a rest. Carter Bryant was a phenomenal pickup in the draft, and while his offense looks like it could use a lot of work, he's an absolute menace on defense. This man looks like he can guard 1 through 4 with tenacity, and he's a very active and pesky defender. He smothers the opposition and routinely showed in the Summer League that he could cover multiple positions and be almost everywhere at once on the defensive side of the ball. If he could become a good spot-up shooter, he might get a decent amount of playing time for the Spurs this season. The Spurs also have many X factors on their team in the form of their supporting cast. Jeremy Sochan is another very good defender on this team and can also set up his teammates with good passes. The main knock on Sochan is his inability to shoot well, but he's also been working hard on his jumper this offseason, and if he can find some consistency in his shot, he could help the Spurs tremendously. Devin Vassell is another player who has dealt with injuries and inconsistency throughout his career, but he's still one of the Spurs' best shooters. If he can work off of players like Wemby, Fox, and Castle, Devin Vassell has the potential to be one of the most impactful players on this roster. Keldon Johnson is another player that is inconsistent and can't really shoot well, but he provides a lot of energy off the bench for the Spurs and plays an important role. Julian Champagnie and Harrison Barnes are underrated pieces of this Spurs team and are knockdown shooters from 3 who will help the Spurs a lot with their floor spacing. The Spurs also made a decent amount of off-season additions. Luke Cornett signed a 4-year, $41 million contract with the Spurs and should provide them with some much-needed rim protection behind Victor Wembanyama. Cornett is also a great lob threat with his 7'1" size and could be another offensive option for the Spurs off the bench. Kelly Olynyk is a nice stretch big addition the Spurs made this offseason. While he's not known for his defense, he is a career 37% shooter from 3 and could help provide some much needed floor spacing for the Spurs. The Spurs also added Lindy Waters, who's a good shooter, and Jordan McLaughlin, who they re-signed, but I don't expect them to play that much this season. The Spurs also have 3 players signed to 2-way contracts in David Jones-Garcia, Riley Minix, and Harrison Ingram. All 3 showed promise during the 2025 NBA Summer League, but Jones-Garcia is definitely the most intriguing option. He's a 6'6" guard who averaged 21.6 points, 6.2 rebounds, 3.8 assists, and shot 53% from 3 and 92% from the free throw line in 5 Summer League games. He might not get much playing time with the Spurs this year, but he's definitely one to look out for if he does get his chance in the NBA. Given all these things to be excited about with the Spurs, there are also a few concerns to keep in mind coming into the season. The biggest concern for the Spurs is their shooting. As a team, they shot 35.7% from 3, which ranked 20th in the NBA. The majority of the big names for the Spurs heading into this season aren't known for being good shooters, such as Fox, Castle, Sohan, and Dylan Harper. Even though Victor Wanyama shot 35% from 3 on 8.8 attempts per game, which is quite impressive given the volume he took, it was still slightly below league average and he was prone to taking very bad shots on many occasions. The Spurs need their whole team to improve their three-point shooting, and hoping that everyone gets better in this department isn't enough in the modern NBA. Youth is also a potential factor that may hinder the Spurs this coming season. While many of their players have been in the NBA for a few seasons, they are still one of the youngest teams in the league, and the majority of the roster doesn't have postseason experience or have seen limited action in the playoffs. Experience is a big thing in the NBA, and the Spurs, while talented, don't have as much experience as some of the other teams in the league. Injuries are another factor, and they can always derail any team's season, and this is no different for the Spurs. They already dealt with injuries taking over their season last year, with Wemby being shut down for the season with the blood clot in his shoulder, and De'Aaron Fox only playing in 17 games for the Spurs, before also being shut down for surgery on his left pinky finger. This is something the Spurs will have to monitor throughout the season, and their depth should help mitigate this issue. While these are some concerns for the Spurs heading into the 2025-26 NBA season, there are still many positives to take ahead of tip-off in October. I personally believe the Spurs are ready to compete in the West and could make the playoffs this season. They have many players who play very hard and make an impact on both ends of the floor. Those are some aspects that you want out of any team, and the Spurs have that in abundance. The NBA is very tough and competitive, but the Spurs are ready, and this young team could be on the verge of something special in the near future.